there's a lot of people on Shein and Temu hiding that package. I'm telling you, that's the truth.
That is the truth.
Like if I can get 3 shows for 80 rand, why am I spending 150 on you? It's the reality.
You sponsored me. Welcome to the GenC podcast. I'm your host, Rizan Rose. With me as always is uncle with a white golfer today. Vincenzo Diesel.
Yo. Hello, Rizan. How are you?
Jackson. Vincenzo. Yeah, because he looks smart. Hello, Lau. Hello, Paul.
Because it's all about family. Mos.
To the audio listeners.
Shureya.
Shureya. Sorry for making it awkward. We like to do this. But yeah, JP, who do we have in the middle today?
In the middle.
There we go.
Today, we have Mr. Gareth Duncan. Welcome, Gareth.
Thank you very much, guys.
How are you doing today?
Good. Long day at work, but good. How are you guys doing?
You didn't expect him to flip it on you.
I never check on you guys.
I wasn't really.
He's not used to polite people. That's what it is.
But today was good. Today was good.
He works from home.
Must be nice.
Conversation is mudable. So that the email says, I hope you are well. It doesn't say, I'm well too.
As soon as we can start tailoring remotely, we're going to start doing that. I come up with something, please.
That's actually deep. Sorry.
So for our listeners and visual or the team, who is Gareth Duncan? Sorry.
It's been a while since I did one of this. I always used to introduce myself as a youth entrepreneur. I don't know if I still qualify.
Nobody's going to know.
No one's gonna know.
Small business owner in Cape Town. I've been doing it for a while. In suits, poker, marketing, you name it. Yeah, been there, done it, enjoyed it, and still going.
Nice.
So
no.
JP. Like, okay, you know what?
Okay. It's fine. So, how does the son of a lawyer and a teacher
That's what you were
decide
talking about.
to now go study journalism?
So
Because you're also from Rizan's alma mater, which seems to be a recurring theme.
He said this high school.
Actually, I'm from Gareth's. High school.
Yes.
Like, get it right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So in matric it was between law, like my dad, drama, and then journalism was like a third pick out of nowhere. I saw how hard it was to become a lawyer. There's a lot of years of studying. I didn't smack for that, to be honest with you. Drama, I think the ceiling was backstage at the time, so we cut that out. And journalism was there, which was quite interesting. My mother's an English teacher, so the flair came there. Did well in comprehension and essays, so I thought I was a natural, and then discovered the dark, deep web of journalism. But lucky went into sport. Most guys' dream job. Traveled with the box, traveled with Team South Africa to various places, and that was fun.
Please tell us more about that.
No, it's been fun. Like the Currie Cup, I think it was 2011 or 12. The province went over to the Sharks in Durban. We won that game, even though they had all the Springboks in the team, and we had a good party the night. Babalas the next day, I'm sitting on my plane seat, and I just feel a tap on my lap. I'm sitting in Urban's chair. Imagine the Babalas. I was 31A and he was 30A, and I was sitting in 30A.
Yeah.
So just see the stool, but I'm like, sorry, bro. To the back. No, there were some fun times. Got to travel. Once you get to travel, that's when your horizons open, your mind open. You see what works overseas, and you kind of bring it home, and that's how the whole tailoring came around. But yes, it's a long story. I'm skipping a lot of chapters.
No. But it sounds like you covered a variety of sports. Yeah. Because in 2010, you also went to Singapore with the South African youth cycling team.
Okay. Almost right. Almost right. Team South Africa, Zone 6 came Zambia. I also went to Isle of Man. That was the big one. So ironically, at that tournament, we found guys like Chisholm Colby and Justin Goddard, and that's how I met the guys at a young age. So and that was also my big kick in the suits game. I was able to tailor suits for guys like Sia and all the other guys early on. But Team South Africa was fun. Like when you see the walk around the stadium with the flags and stuff, like it looks cool, but when you're there, you're like proud. Like your heart like it's on fire. Just like being proud to represent Team South Africa. Crowds going wild, they're clapping for you, they can see you from South Africa. So that was quite a cool experience. And just being in the Olympic Village and stuff like that. I never gone to the Olympics per se, but it was the Youth Olympic Village and everything else. Just seeing the top competitors in the world, how they train behind the scenes. I think it's most sports fundies' dreams to be there, you know.
Yeah.
And you could get to pay to be there as well, which was fun. So I picked up that experience and took that into marketing one day.
Just to slow all the way down.
Back to
No. Like, do you know what that was? That was like Scar's foreplay.
I got the job done,
Because
we must put the age restriction.
The views expressed.
We haven't used that.
It's only available after.
Here goes the sponsorship. Or maybe.
No, because I think on the one hand, that is extremely exciting. Because you are with us, a person of color, someone who's getting to live an absolute dream job, if you will.
Yeah.
Right? While also honing a skill, a craft, if you will, in the news space, in the journalism space. Because JP can also speak to this. When we think sport journalists, we think Stephen A. Smith.
On the TV.
And so I think that's like my question basically is that like what was sort of like the experience from a writing perspective, like that type of impact? It
seems like a simple task, but you realize how much influence you actually have behind the laptop. Like people, like not just tens of people, I'm talking about thousands of people.
Yeah.
Because when you're working, like I used to work for SA Rugby magazine, SA Cricket magazine.
Wow.
And at a peak, they sold hundreds of thousands of magazines and their websites got like close to millions of hits as well. So your opinion on a player is make or break for them as well.
Wow.
You know, there's a lot of responsibility that comes with it. And not to, you touched on color, but I was probably the first colored writer at the team as well. So it took a lot of mindset change and adapting to what they wanted, but also how I brought my background into it. And there was a lot of interesting conversations in the boardroom. There's agendas for sure. I can say that confidently. But I think ethics, they teach ethics in journalism. And that's very important.
Because obviously, like those years, what's it, 2010s, 2011, 2012, the Springbok team is a much different team to what it is now. Because now it's the Siya Kulisi swing. That's what I'm saying. Everything is a lot more inclusive. And so I'm sure that you've seen some things. But what were the sports specifically that you wrote for? Rugby?
So I was only mandated to do cricket and rugby. Rugby was my main beat. Started with schools, went all the way up to Springboks and then cricket as well. But being the person I am, I was a busybody. I couldn't just be restricted to that. So that's how the Team South Africa opportunities came my way. I just asked the editor of Athletics, look, I want to write more. I got time. Give me something, you know. So ended up writing for, I think it was 12 magazines and 4 websites. So it's ironic because when I quit my job, they had to replace me with 2 people. But look, it's like it's a curse as well. It's a blessing and a curse. Like you have a strong work ethic, but you want to do so much that it dilutes your impact sometimes. So it's a sensitive balance. You're saying that.
But I do think it also, to your point, that journey or you're stepping into entrepreneurship is kind of when you realize that you're doing so much, and in the employee setup, you're only ever going to get the same amount out.
Yeah, look, my goal was to soak in as much experience and reward as I could, because financially it wasn't all there, to be honest with you. I started as an intern, got the junior salary, and then they offered me this raise at the end of the year. And when I heard what the raise was, I was like, nah, can't do this for much longer. And I just felt that my efforts weren't appreciated financially. And that's when I took the big jump into entrepreneurship. It was amazing for years, don't get me wrong, but I knew there was more for me out there.
Yeah. I think before we just while we're still on the writing element, what was the words like kind of in journalism, right? There's a lot of, like you said, ethics and a lot of thought behind it. Yeah. There's in this space where now almost everybody's trying to give their opinion, and it's mirrored in between the kind of what is real journalism and what
journalism,
is that what it's called?
It was spoken about in 2008 already, before social media was as big as it was.
Okay.
Wow. The responsibility, because now we all train journalism, we know the ethics, the importance of doing things right, how you bring it across to the public, when it's the right time to release information. Because now a guy is still going to trial and people are just putting his face out there, you don't know what the true judgment is. There's a lot of responsibility that comes with it. But I think slowly but surely, those who are irresponsible are being held accountable, whether it's being sued or the public outcries there. I think there's also traditions changing. What was expected before needs to change because it's outdated or needs to be modernized. So I think true evolution is happening, sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse, as we can see every day. But I think mostly for the better. And I think we need to be more positive about what we can control and push towards the positives. Yeah.
You answered so many questions. Which is just like amazing, but also frustrating. So I understand that you switched over from journalism to entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
For the money, right? Or just for the opportunity for more money.
Yeah.
But like the question, I guess, is why entrepreneurship?
Look, it's an interesting story. I just felt like there was more for me in the sense of I wanted to control my destiny, because I get heart palpitations when I hear about people being stuck in a corporate job because of the responsibility they have at home to bring the money back, and there's no other option, and you're sad and stuck in that situation. I was 23 at the time, but it's mainly through the phone call with my father, to be honest with you. So they just had paid for my studies for journalism, did my BTech at Pentech. And I mean, it's thousands of rands that they're investing into me. Now imagine me phoning a year later saying, they don't want to duck, I'm not happy with what they're giving me. I'm doing too much here and they're not giving me the right reward. I actually want to start my own business. And at the time, it was 2013. It was not common for a young colored lighty from the community to say, look, I want to start a business.
Yeah.
People frowned upon it. Are you sure you have a good job? Why do you want to quit? Like I got all the negative answers first. But my parents were saying, look, you're young. You don't have kids. You don't have huge responsibilities. Just take care of yourself and we'll back you. And that push helped me tremendously. I think my father had to say no or don't do it. I would have been a sports journalist today and not on the show at all.
So it was the trip to Thailand that changed the perspective on tailoring and
suits,
making suits.
That's accurate. Well done. 2 out of 3, yeah?
2 out of 3, I'm there.
So, I mean, there's a bit of backstory to that. I started, like, people don't know the intricate stuff, but I think it's important to say, like, I started an online magazine when I quit my job. Did well for 3 months, then it failed miserably on the 4th, 5th, 6th month. And that financial pressure came there. And at the time, I got a job offer. Someone headhunted me. They realized I wasn't at my old job anymore. And they called me in for an interview. And when you're doing badly financially, you're like, okay, let's see what this is all about. And I managed to turn that interview into a client opportunity.
Wow.
So I realized people didn't want the online magazine. They wanted my marketing skills or my journalism skills. And it just happened in the interview. It clicked. And I said, look, guys, I have my own business. I don't want the job as an employee, but will you be willing to give the same contract as a supplier? So they said yes, 3-month probation, and they were my client for like 24 months thereafter. And that set the financial grounds for me to do whatever I wanted to do thereafter, which was cool.
Can I ask you, what is doing well? What does that look like when you were doing this sort of online media? What does doing well look like? What does that mean?
So you mean an online magazine?
Yeah, when you're doing the online magazine.
So I went with what I knew. Magazines, the only way magazines make money is through advertising or click. I mean, the opt-in click is terrible. I mean, you charge readers to actually read your content is terrible concept in my opinion. But anyway, I went advertising route. I had a few restaurants and local clubs supporting the magazine, but I didn't have the intricate detail to show them the ROI. So eventually they were happy with 3 months and then they said, okay, cool. Didn't see much of a difference. So they said, okay, cool. That's all we're going to do for you. And then I struggled to find more advertisers. But that was because I stuck to the mold. And then that interview kind of broke the mold. And made me realize there's new ways of selling your skills here, bro.
But this that breaking of the mold can be applied to any scenario.
Any scenario. I mean,
we step into spaces where we think we can't propose something like that.
Yeah.
Like let's say someone's looking for an accountant.
Or someone looking for a podcast sponsorship.
Or sponsorship.
Like there's so many things.
We'll insert space here. So like each of these type of things, we don't actually think that we can make that a business.
Yeah.
But I think it's a concept of just working for someone.
Yeah.
And being comfortable in that space. Now you can be. I mean, I'm one of those people. I work in corporate. I know the pros and the cons thereof. But that idea, like you said, that people get lost in that world and feeling that pressures that they need to have responsibilities paid for is a whole different neck.
The sad thing is they paved that way. It's the traditional way forward. Go to school, go to university, get a good job, and be happy with what you get. But I think there's a lot of more opportunities, especially for the youngsters now, to kind of spread their wings and trial and error.
Yeah.
I think there doesn't have to be the fear of failing. I think you can try things out, learn from it, and be better on the next go.
What I want to say is, again, answering so many questions. But I want to go back to Thailand. You want to go back to Thailand? No. So I want to go back to breaking the mold.
Okay.
Because that is actually that's such a GenC thing. I'm claiming it. but it's kind of the foundation of the guests that we have, and you are sort of continuing the story of breaking the mold. Because what you'll find, or what you sort of notice, is that, especially when you're trying to make your own business, what works for the goose doesn't work for the gander, because the gander don't live in Cape Town.
You mean from international trends?
Or whatever the case may be, or they don't, like South Africa's different to this country, different to that country, different to that country. And so I think just from what I'm gauging is that it was important that you had to sort of find your own path.
Yeah. I think that's to me the best lessons are made, making your own mistakes and kind of pivoting. I think that's... Look, the younger generation, from what I've picked up, they're very mature, but they're soft, bro.
Oh,
they're soft. They take 2 punches and they're down. Whereas I think, again, I didn't have a choice, I guess. Yeah. So I took a lot of punches along the way, but I won the fight at the end of the day, which is important.
So one of the first tip of your 5 tips for entrepreneurship is find the gap. Right? Yeah. So find the gap. When you came back from Thailand, you found your gap.
Yeah.
So take us back there.
Okay, cool. So interview worked, marketing company started, did well. 2016, decided I'm going to go to Thailand with some friends. Let's enjoy ourselves. And on the corner of my hotel was a tailor. And every time I walk past, he tried to sell me a suit. And I said, no, it's 30 degrees. I'm not buying a suit. But eventually he got me in. And look, I'm a shorter guy, so sleeves and legs never fit off the cuff, Always have to have it altered. So measured me, had a suit made, and it fitted.
Wow.
I'm like, this is possible. And I came back home and I realized tailor suits were either dramatically expensive or cheap and bad quality. So I saw a gap in the market. You spoke about gap. That was the gap I saw. So I was determined, So I said, okay, let's see what I can do here. Still did my marketing stuff, but in my spare time, I went to all the utopias in Woodstock, Salt River, even Mitchell's Plain. The sad thing was none of them were willing to help me. Yeah. No guidance, and the sad thing is most likely most of the family is not going to take on the trade. So it dies with them, essentially. So they weren't willing to help me, but I kept knocking on the doors, and eventually I found my former business partner. Took me in. He said, look, you can use my shop, bring your clients in, and we'll help you out. So through that process, I learned about materials, I learned about measurements, learned about fittings, and we did well together. He made a lot of money off me for about 2 years, and then I ventured on myself.
I feel like there's a story there.
No, I can't. But it's school fees. It's school fees. You gotta. He taught me a lot, and I think that's invaluable. Yeah. And eventually, the cage got too small, and ventured on my own.
Yeah. Something you said, it's school fees.
Yeah,
it's school fees.
That's a ball.
So I think we also underestimate the whole concept of the internship and the lower salary in traditional corporate is for this scenario. It's the school fees. Yeah. So that you can learn how to do things. And the ability to learn the industry in the space of very little consequences, because you are the intern, you are the one that's just doing a lot of the grunt work. Yeah. But that understanding that is setting you up to get that payment.
Yeah, 100%. I think career opportunities are more possible now than before. There's less pressure on having a tertiary education. Look, I'm saying doctors, accountants, those sort of professionals need the paperwork to get into where they need to be, 100%. But if a youngster came to me, 18, 19 years old, I want to be a tailor. I'll work for you for that. I want to learn. Give me growth opportunity. I'll be loyal to you. I'll open my door to that.
I was going to ask you, do people do that?
I was going to ask that follow-up question, because you said you went to people and they just refused. It's why are we like this?
But it's most again, it's again the space.
Man. It's how you also introduced.
It's also the space.
I also feel how people are like that, like our parents and our grandparents' generation.
But it's that idea. It's that idea that if I let you in, you're gonna take my work, right? When you don't actually think that by letting you in, instead of now having 20 clients, we have 40.
Exactly.
Because you know more people than I do. Yeah. And again, it's like you said, you're taking that away. But what you don't see, and what Gareth was pointing out, is that when you've run your course with life, there's no one that then picks it up.
That's the thing,
because there's not this pass on of the skill, and that's why we have, like you said, there are families that do the same thing, right? But they've been passed the trade. We go to that person to cut our hair. We go to that person to make the suit because they know how to do it the way you like it.
Yes.
And I think this concept that it must die with me is what is actually stopping us from passing that on.
Yeah, no, that's true. To be fair, I don't think when they said no, they were thinking that deep. To be fair, but it's true. It's true, though. No, it's true. It's true. Because that's probably the losers like the man.
My thing about us as colours, not having generational wealth, I feel like it's our own fault.
There's no
because of the gatekeeping, that gatekeeping mentality that was the thing. Because we feel like, I'm not going to teach you because then you're going to steal it from me. But
we have a selfish mindset. Yeah.
It's crazy. It's frustrating.
Am I about to defend the old God?
Yes.
Please go.
Do it.
Yeah. So obviously, unfortunately, they grew up in a time where where they were just not allowed to have stuff.
We can't deny that.
We can't deny that. So it came from a scarcity mindset.
Okay.
Unfortunately. Okay. And it was also a case of what then happens is, and you find this in different power dynamics. women on women do this to each other, where when they get to a particular space of authority, then they start to beat down other women. So colored people then do a similar thing, where they get to a space of authority, they start to beat down on other people.
So because we had so little, now that we have that one thing, we hold on to it so tightly.
So it's unfortunate. Obviously, this is why we have these platforms. This is why we have these stories to tell the people, like, don't die.
Don't be so.
Don't be so.
And I mean, like, I know you've sort of rushed through your story, but it's incredibly inspiring, especially the pivot, man. And a lot of the pivots is definitely not graceful.
Yeah.
And by no means I doubt that yours is graceful.
It was interesting. I tried to block out all the negative. I only remember the highlights. I'm like, Instagram profile. It's only the good stuff.
Thanks, boy.
But in that regard, you kind of did rob us then. Because we want to hear the pitfalls.
Okay.
Because like, for example, I'm someone who quit my masters.
Oh wow.
Right? And JP hasn't even heard the story. Like, we've tried to tell the story,
but he stops you all the time.
No, it's my fault. Because it's intense, man. And now I'm in education. You know what I'm saying? And I'm happier.
Yeah.
I'm definitely, like, I'm in my flow, in my element. But like, the turn was not graceful. And it was also one of those things where my dad or my parents told me, you're young, you don't have children. Like, you know, give it your best shot, you know, put in like what you can. And so they obviously wanted me to finish. I didn't, but like, they're happy with where I am now.
Okay,
that's what it's about.
100%.
So
get into those pitfalls.
Yes, okay, not the people that sort of like gave you the stabbage. But yeah, maybe just like that.
I mean, I'll go through it from the beginning. I mean, from journalism, it's just a lack of opportunity. Despite working your ass off and not being rewarded, those are kind of, you got to make the hard call. You know, if you're stuck at a ceiling and you're not happy, I mean, there's so much out there. Don't get stuck. Start looking for another job or start the transition. A lot of people think you got to quit your job to start a business. You don't. There's a lot of time after hours to put in the effort, you know? So...
Can I ask you, sorry, just to interrupt you. So a lot of us have this, like, we want to succeed because we like the oldest child and we need to sort of look after the family, or we decided to find love and we need to look after that. What is your pull factor? What is the thing that drove you, like, you actually do need to earn more money or make a success of yourself?
In terms of when I had the job or at
now, like now, the switch to sort of making this business a success. What drives you to sort of like be like that? Yeah,
I think look, money was a factor early on, but I think having an impact with people around you. I'm lucky to work in various teams, various communities, and leading the way and leading the torch there is rewarding in itself. Money is great, don't get me wrong, but there's more substance to life than that. Sure. I think once you create opportunity for others, especially those who come from the same backgrounds as you, and you make that difference that people weren't doing in your life, I think that's the change we need in life. Yeah.
He's different, no?
It's both different.
No, because I'm realizing, for example, like how sort of forward thinking you are.
It's just through when I was stuck and frustrated and saying why it should be different. I can't be hypocrite and not do the same.
Okay.
So I followed my perspectives. Look, it's not easy. Sometimes people lie to you. People disappoint you. Your team is not always perfect. Mistakes happen. We're all human. But it's all about being patient enough for people to reach their full potential and supporting that as best as possible.
So your philosophy on the suits, for example,
you can finish your masters in this episode, bro.
Something that you always speak about is that the blazer can be a conversational piece.
Yes.
It opens the door, right? So was it the case of, because before you were quite introverted or self-proclaimed introverted, doesn't seem that way now, but you were quite introverted. Was that kind of your way to get the speaking done for you?
It's easier when people see something they like and the conversation is easier, 100%. When I say I was an introvert, I used to go to a party and be okay with being the bra in the corner.
Okay.
And not socialize and everything. People, the socializing will come to me. But when we wear a blazer and people notice that it's fitted or the design is something different, the conversation is more positive. And it opens doors to a lot more excitement or other things, you know.
And there was another take that also threw me in terms of you never focused on the sale, but rather the experience
and the relationship.
And the reason why it fascinated me so much was because from the experience you can make 2 or 3 sales. But we don't focus on the fact that
there's a life cycle.
There's a life cycle.
It's confirmation, matricle, winning. Been doing this a couple of times.
I wasn't ready for that. Tell the people, listen up. Wow. So it's confirmation, matricle and?
Winning.
Okay.
Then funeral and age and so what was it about the experience that you really just brings them back?
So when I worked at my former business partner's shop, I realized the limitations. You, as a customer, could only choose what they had in the racks. There wasn't a lot of opportunity to design and sit down and be comfortable. It's in a mall, in the shop. It's very fast paced. I created a very comfortable setting, as you can see. I mean, JV just walked in. We had a busy day and by 1:15 we had this random color guy walking in. Went straight for the couch. I look at JV like, who's this?
Do you know what? Because this man is from Planetworld.
I look at him like, I was busy, man. Like, I could be missing a point.
And I hook as if I was a muscle.
Let's make yourself at home. That's what it is.
Yeah. Love a joke.
But sit comfortably. There's a lot of materials to choose from. You sit down, you pick, you tell me what you want. I give you advice. We formulate the final plan. Do the measurements, come back 2 weeks later, do a fitting, talk about what you like in terms of fit, making sure that happens, and then final delivery. That experience might be straightforward from a suit perspective, but clients always remember how they felt during the process. They might not always remember the suit, I had a third pocket here, or what lining did I choose? But they'll always remember how they felt in the suit or how they received the suit. And that's important.
Yes. Sorry, man. Cut this out. No, because I'm just realizing you have like the personality for the job that you have. Like what you've described there, because in my mind, right? Say my now, if you will. If I imagine myself, 50 years ago, going to the tailor, that person knows my whole family history. He knows my uncle used to do this, he knows, and that's kind of like the energy, the effort that you're creating. And it's quite sad to think that that's not the standard. That's quite
sort of client service is disappearing, especially with AI coming in, technology. It's not necessarily a bad thing, right? Some things are improving, but there will always be a need for that human touch, that human element. And I think in those trades, you got to put that effort behind, because you compete against robots. And to win the fight, you got to make it emotional.
And I mean, we obviously now in the age of, like you said, artificial intelligence, but at the same time, there's a correction happening where people are very cognizant of fast fashion. They're very cognizant of, of these things. So they're trying to thrift and and so having a person work with you and for you in the way that you do does also then humanize the experience. Whereas we go to the mall and everything is so fast paced. And so there's not a question actually. I just want to remark this.
I think on face value, maybe there's a lot of people that support those movements, but I think behind the face, there's a lot of people on Sheen and Temu. That's the truth.
That is the truth.
Like if I can get 3 shows for 80 rand, why am I spending 150 on you? It's the reality. That's why I say the human element or the client service, that's important. I will spend 120 that shorts, it made me feel special. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you got to be realistic about your competition and what sets you apart and focus on that.
No, because, just like at the same time, because obviously we have space for both.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you're talking about like your confirmation shoot, your matric poll suit, your, this and that, you want the story. So I would hope that you'd want the story.
I forgot the 50th. The 50th is also there. so I'm waiting to 50th.
Then I also wanted to remark, because obviously you've had a journey.
Yeah, it's been
and you have the skill set that I would hope is like riding a bike is not going to go away, right? Or are you considering writing a book?
Yeah, I didn't think that. Maybe a audio book. To be honest, I like people like to brag. I read books and whatever else. I really tried. But I love podcasts, and I think that's where I picked up on you guys. Yeah. I love listening to stuff and learning through that experience. Okay. That's my type of learning or my type of reading.
As a writer, that's also some journalist that is quite.
Yeah, it's interesting. I love to write. I do miss writing from a creatively, but. I prefer listening, to be honest.
So, your passion for entrepreneurship, right? You speak about this on quite a few platforms, and in terms of the opening one's mind to entrepreneurship, right? And like you mentioned earlier, we have this in our spaces, this kind of thinking that entrepreneurship is for that person, a particular type of person, and not necessarily for you. So just on our platform, do you mind just also saying, because I mentioned the first one, which was the find the gap. Yeah. Number 2 was networking. And you speak about the how your network is your network. Yeah. And what's it about networking that I think when you find that gap and the right network, you then almost sliding into where you should be.
100%.
And so for the entrepreneur out there, what do they need to know?
Between those two, it's also passion, because at the end of the day, work is work. If you don't love what you do, you're gonna get stuck somewhere, and it's gonna question your real effort behind it. How much you really love what you do. Tailoring, where it is now for me, is great, but I hit a lot of hurdles along the way. Like you saw, the old tailors saying no, business partner, that sort of thing. But all those elements create a fun opportunity. And you got to earn your stripes in the sense of going through the right routines. We can't just be given a full-time career or full-time business and that's where we go. You got to start and earn where you want to be. So we spoke about, just that list again for me. I don't make sure I don't get it wrong.
That's the first one you spoke about, the gap.
Gap, passion, network. Passion and network. How ironic is that? How ironic is that?
That's fine.
So I think passion goes before gap, because we live in an age now where we can be anything we want to be. Back then, you spoke about law, drama, and journalism. That was my 3 choices. I didn't think beyond that. But right now, if you like shopping, you can be a stylist. You can go on social media and be an influencer in shopping, whatever the case you want to be. So discovering your passion, what you really want to do for most of your life. Then finding the gap. Once you discover what you want to do, what are the opportunities around me? Do I want to go intern? Do I want to go straight into social media and start a business? Do I want to learn of somebody? I mean, just discover the gap. The gap is also your clients. Who am I actually selling to? What bridge am I taking from interest to sale? So discovering that route is also very important. And that's why I say sometimes it's better going to university for a few years and messing around. Sometimes it's good to go to a first job and realizing what it takes for a business to tick. And you take that back to your thing that you want to do and then execute accordingly. And then network is not necessarily just friends, but people in the industry. Maybe you find a supplier that provides plastic at a very good price that makes your business now viable. Take their plastic, create a product, you sell it to the client. So it's building the structure around you, the logistics. Because at the end of the day, it's not just the product. It's the business, it's marketing, it's supply, it's delivery. Jamie will tell you all about the suits. It's not just the suit, it's the whole experience, it's the admin behind it. It's a lot of cogs going along in the machine that you got to master. And that takes time. That's earning your stripes, basically.
But I do like the concept that you said, go and if you want to just understand what makes the business tick, go work a little.
Yeah.
And bring that back to where you want to be.
One thing I wish I did when I was younger was go work overseas for a year. Like, I think it was frowned upon, gap year. Are you really taking a gap year?
Yeah.
I think that was
100%.
Like, now people are going on cruises for a year, going to different countries, going to work in hotels in America or teaching English in China, whatever the case is, you know. But I think that's amazing because most of the time you'll walk along, see a business idea and say, that will work in South Africa or Cape Town as you speak.
Yeah.
Bring that back. Execute, and then there you go. Rest of your life sorted out.
Yeah.
You obviously, I've sort of learned this that like when you find passion, I prefer mastery.
Yeah.
When you find mastery in something, when you sort of get good at it, where it becomes like I'm boss at this. We oftentimes in like the workspace, the only way to improve on that is you get put into management. Which is a lot of the times a different experience where you like say you're an engineer, for example, you like working with let's call it the products, and now as you progress you must now become a manager. You must work with people. So you obviously you do manage people, right? So what is that sort of like learning curve for you as being the star of the show?
It's hard, man. Because with my teams are quite big. It grew rapidly. The suits, it grew from one person to 6 people.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like much, but you're working with 6 different people that you also need to encourage to work together and like each other for the most part.
Yeah.
Because believe me, sometimes they don't like each other. But the sad thing is when they don't like each other, the problems fall on me, whether it's through the product or through a social problem I got to sort out. So it's identifying what makes your people tick as a team individually and trying to create a system and a structure for them to work in unison and push in the same direction. It's difficult, bro. It's something I'm still trying to master.
And you
I don't
work
think
with
I'm a master.
creatives essentially.
In the different spaces. And I think professionally it's easy from a career or a skill perspective, but it's the personality. It's hard. It's keeping people motivated, trying to lead them, trying to set the example. Because I'm also human. Like sometimes I want to be lazy, but I can't. I can't be lazy in front of myself and say, why are you lazy? No, you can't be a hypocrite in that sense. But you got to set the role. And I guess once you have a system that works, that's when things get a bit easier.
And so even in your entrepreneurship journey, you were always on this space to learn. Entering spaces that you never had experience in, like tailoring initially. And now your other business ventures as well, like the beer company that you're a part of. These sort of things, entering spaces or unknown territories, is that what excites you?
Because I was just willing to go in. Like when I started the marketing company, I had my clients that supported me financially. But when a new client came and they came from the industry I knew nothing about, I said, look, let me work free for this month. I just want to identify what makes your business tick. Picked up certain things. And if it didn't work out, I said, look, I can't help you. And be honest with the client. Or like I realize what the problem is and I can fix it. And then you prove it. And then they sit with you for life.
For life.
I want to sort of stay on this forever, but also I want to sort of switch to something that you also do because, I mean, JP's been doing research. I appreciate it. But this is actually something that you told me, is that you run or you play professional poker.
Oh, yeah, I've been waiting for this.
So I think my first question is just, how did that start?
We started with friends in the garage. Fun game. It was social. Everybody could play with you, boy, girl, or whatever age you were. And it was family, friends, and everything else. Started there, and I didn't think much of it at the time. And then on DSTV, 181, I will never forget, there was a 24-hour poker channel. And there was this old guy from Joburg, Ray Rami, that made it like second place in the World Series of Poker, or third place. And he won like $2 million. And I was like, playing a card game. Ray Rami and me are two different people. I actually play with him in Joburg when I'm up there. But this was 2008, 2009. And seeing that there was a career opportunity, or more of a passion opportunity. I wouldn't call it a career, really, but it was something I could compete in. Because I was quite good at them, but I didn't think much of it, like I said. But when I realized, hey, there are higher levels here. And that's when I started competing in local games, started competing in national games. It was like a 6-year journey. I think I played my first big tournament in 2018. And I'm doing all right. Not as good as I want to be, but that's because of business poker balance. But hopefully, it's still very early to talk about it, but there will hopefully be a career in poker very soon.
Nice. But you see poker as a sport?
Yes, a mind sport.
A mind sport. Do you mind telling our audience?
So there is this thing, man. Like when my parents didn't understand it for the first year. They're like, "What are you doing? Are you gambling?" I guess that's because of the miseducation or the misunderstanding of what tournament poker is. People go to the casino, see poker. Okay, that's like a gambling game. You can lose your life there, whatever else. But like everything in life, whether it's cannabis or tournament poker, things evolve and people become more aware and understanding and realize there's more to it than just the stigma you were taught. You also tell me that guy, my mom can come around, you can come around. No, but seriously, from a tournament aspect, it's a level playing ground. What I love about it is everybody buys in for the same amount. You get equal amount of chips. The chips doesn't equal the money you bought in for. It's depending on the game structure. And the intention is to play away that you're the last man standing. So if you think of mind sports in other general senses, it's very, very similar, whether it's esports, Scrabble, dominoes, clover chess. There are literally sport federations around these mind sports. Tournament poker is just one of them.
I wanna know like how expensive of a sport.
It can be expensive, and that's why I think a club system is very important because the cheapest game in a national series is 5,000 Rand. For a lot of people, 5,000 Rand is a lot of money to play poker. And then you get buy-ins as big as 10, 15, 25, 50, 100 sometimes. So that's for the real big high rollers. But club games, you can start at 200, 300 Rand. Earn your stripes, you win. You can afford a higher level. It's like entrepreneurship in a way. You're managing your bankroll. Starting small.
You answered another question.
I think, look, poker is a lot like an important life skill. Like you learn how to manage your chips to get to the end destination where you want to be.
Deep, bro.
I'm upset.
What is your next question?
Literally. What quality of the game do you think you can use?
I've been doing this for a while, man. I'm sorry, man.
He's the JP of guests.
He knows what you're gonna ask for.
He knows what I'm asking for. Like,
I mean, I'm only 2 out of 3 today.
He's like he's a professional guest. We playing games, man. Golly.
So do you mind if I just throw in because there's tell signs in poker, right? Whether you're telling the truth or not. So there's a game we play on the show called Fact or Fake. Right? Where I'll say a fact or say a statement, and you determine whether it is fact.
I think you got to put money on the line. Like
This it's a club game. It's my buy-in. 2 fizzes is all I have.
Okay. I raise you.
Flamingos bend their legs at the ankles.
False.
Am I also answering for this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This was a group effort. At the ankles.
Yeah.
That can't be the ankles, man. That's too high for the ankles, man.
I don't know.
Okay, you're gonna sit out to this.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's true, but I don't know.
You
It's not
feel
a-
like
it's
the
not a-
ankles are up there.
Yes, bruh.
Yo.
Do you know why?
Huh?
Do you know that giraffes have the same number of neck vertebrae as us? So, like,
Okay, that's wild.
So yes, they do bend at the ankles.
Oh,
Their
wow.
knees are apparently covered with feathers right at the top.
Oh,
So
wow.
So what is that like a Musa show?
Chasing a flamingo must be easy. It's an ankle. Zijn ankle.
that's a grand ankle.
That is hectic.
Rizan will be
That's a long
appreciate
foot
this.
then, eh?
Yeah.
Also, just for the record, as the scientist, if I had to get it wrong, then my card would have to be revoked. Yeah, saying so.
British military tanks allow you to make tea and coffee in the heat of battle.
Okay. But and coffee's throwing me off.
Yeah, and
Tea, maybe, yeah.
Oh, you can just say tea.
bro, British people and tea is hectic, bro. Oh, they love tea, bro. I'm sure there must be like a kettle in a tank now. But I don't know. I don't know if it would
It's
be-
the British that's throwing you off.
I
Because
know,
if
no.
I started just in like South Africa, you would say no.
So, okay, I'm going to say false, but I
Okay.
also have something like a fun fact.
Yeah,
So,
I'll go
okay.
opposite, I'll go true.
Okay. What's the fun fact? Before
Oh, yeah. So, apparently, the Germans used to get like tuck. They used to get given amphetamine. So they became like the most powerful soldiers. Like,
Yeah.
Zombies.
tuck fact, bro. That's GenC podcast.
Looking for a sponsor?
As well as that was my mind
That's dangerous. That's dangerous.
Yes, it is
Okay.
true.
Okay.
The British military allows you to
That's
make
wild.
tea
In the heat of battle.
in the heat of battle. Yes.
Tea break.
Okay, I only have two more. I have two more. Passports only come in three colors.
Okay.
It's red, green, and blue.
False.
True.
I think it's true. I haven't seen a different, like, besides those three. Have you ever seen a...
After you leave it in the washing machine. Or something.
I think it's true.
But like, what like, do you know why those colors though?
Yes.
Okay.
International standards.
So yes, it is true because international standards require to not get dirty and stuff like that.
Oh.
You can't take
Only-
your boy out of Cape Town.
You see, you must come home with a business idea.
Because like after I wanted to hear that, I was like,
Yeah.
do you know why? And I was gonna change my answer. After this, like,
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna change my answer. Yeah.
Okay. And the last one is there's no number under 1,000 that has the letter A in it.
No number under 1,000. There is an A in it.
Yo. 1,000.
Wait, what?
I'm not gonna give you time to figure this out.
That's
Yeah, that's crazy.
wild. That's
There's no
interesting.
A. Okay.
That's
Yeah, and
Hashtag-
we don't
Did
understand
Siri
that.
Skinner there? What's
Yeah,
going
she's
on?
gonna ring.
Yeah.
True.
I also want to just
Yeah,
for
no,
the
that's-
for the
For the yeah, it's true. It's
It has
true.
to be
It's
true.
true.
That's-
Nice.
That's a hard one.
I'm not gonna lie. That's one cooked.
Yeah. Fun facts with JP.
The fun facts is but,
Like you
but you
actually
see, that's
could-
why I can't play poker because
Yeah.
you can see it in my eyes. That's why you're looking at me. I was like, don't tell me.
JP must wear glasses and a cap.
With my grand ankle.
Balaclava is crazy, man.
Okay. Relax now. Relax, please.
So, Hannah, you didn't send the questions.
I did.
No, you sent the answers. Now, bro.
I can. Oh, my phone's there.
Yes, sir. So, we ask our audience on social media a social media question. I'm gonna guess what the question is.
Okay.
And the question is, if you could name your own designer suit.
Yeah.
And if you can provide our own designer brand. There we go.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lau. What would it be? And so there's
Interesting ones.
brother. Dio.
Dio. I mean, they made it South African. The audience understood this.
Oh, baby, that's so
There's a few good ones.
This one is so droog, but I have to read it, man. Not Tommy Lavender.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite one.
Stop it. Bro, what is this about? Like, what is this oranges and new black? Small poles and mocha, bro.
Yeah, poles
and mocha. This adds a.
That sounds like
It sounds like it's something
official,
there.
though.
It sounds like.
Oh, wait.
This one is cute. Shades of brown, and the slogan is "Life's a walk in the park." Hanover Park.
That's good.
Shades of brown.
Okay, so just to sort of like put us on the JP.
So on the show, we also like to play a game, a series of hypotheticals, and it's a game that we call Say My Now.
How many do we have?
Two.
Okay, then Gareth's gonna read the next one.
Say my now, you'd get 100,000 Rand today, but you have to wear the clothes you're wearing now for the rest of the year. Would you take the cash? It's late.
Not enough.
Not enough.
Nah,
That's another
not enough.
little league money.
No, man, it's not enough.
Doesn't get you to the top level.
Because I mean, like,
if I add a
you
zero
have
to that,
sleep in these clothes.
if I add a zero to that,
From now to the end of the year.
now to the end of the year. So in October,
for R1 million.
for 1 million Rand.
A million.
He's upping.
I'm adding a zero because apparently that wasn't enough for 2 months' work.
But like, you have to do everything.
It's look, guys, I'm in a suit. It's December. It's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
So he's looking out. You see, he's looking after his.
That's tough, bro.
You want to say something? What do you want to say?
Nah, I'm just thinking. I'm thinking.
Rizan's thinking if he had a hoodie on, he maybe would have said yes.
In December, boss.
Bruh, Rizan was in Namibia. No?
Can I just say?
In summer.
Laos P.
But
And this one was wearing a
But
hoodie.
Mans was then flexing at the Christmas episode of this New York.
The Christmas episode is crazy.
Yeah, that's a Musa throwback.
No, so I was thinking, I have a girlfriend now. And she must.
But I mean,
see
you're
me.
getting $1 million. Like, you can say, baby, it's for us, bro.
I guess.
Just
I guess it's giving school uniform.
just let them
I
the
wouldn't
school
do it.
fees. You wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Also,
I think you'd get to go.
do you know what, that also? But you know also like, bro, like for Eid, I need that one picture of Instagram. That one Eid picture of Instagram, bro. Ask me that question on Eid day.
That's another one that's not even on the list. It's confirmation.
Actually, do you know, like, okay, not what I'm wearing today, but like I would actually wear like a salat top.
Okay.
Oh yeah, actually, like I would actually do that. Like I'm like,
Yeah.
I would actually like if I
That
can wear
makes sense.
salat top,
Yeah.
bro, I'll wear that formally. I'll honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Paul was actually like telling me, because I'm going to a wedding on Monday. He said I must just get like a salad top because like I don't smile. Like,
Bro, it's swaggy, bro. And I mean, you can pull off cultural ambiguity.
You don't know what it is.
I'm like Mexican Jesus, Italian Muhammad.
yeah.
It's crazy.
Okay, say my now.
Same now.
A family member gives you a blank check as a gift and tells you to write in an amount for yourself. How much do you write down? I think we're a greedy generation to ask this question.
Who's the family?
Max.
I was gonna say
Max.
Max.
That's
Jokes aside.
Guys, is Max.
No, man.
Maximum.
That's a different
depends who
question.
the family is.
Yeah, it does though.
Yo, it's a different
Like if you
question.
know the family's well off, where they're not gonna miss like a power million, then you
A million. What was 100,000 for the kid? A power million on the family. Yes, yes.
You have an uncle in the furniture business.
Lauwers and poor.
It's giving scam.
I feel like Rizan's too good of a person.
Yeah.
He wouldn't.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like, what would I even like use the money for? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yo, it's interesting.
You got a girlfriend now, bro.
Yeah.
The podcast worked.
That is layers of funny. I don't think
If this is on Instagram, I feel like it's a clip.
Let's get it clipped, bro. Let's get it clipped.
You need a girlfriend, start a podcast.
I object.
Yeah,
we're here for
definitely.
other reasons.
Yeah.
We
are.
to spread the message.
We are.
To let the people know
Yeah.
that you can too
Your
start
poker
a
face
podcast.
is
Crumbling.
crumbling.
He's not
His poker face is sus. But you're the money guy. Like, how much would you take from a family? What's an ethical amount to take?
There is no ethical amount. It's anything beyond what you want to get out of your estate.
Yes.
So
yes.
if you're trying to move
That's deep.
funds,
That's deep.
that is the amount that I will put.
Now
That's
he's
the
moving
amount.
unethically.
That's the amount I will put down.
Because I would have been like, okay, cool. What is the price of like a PS5 and a PA games?
A bundle. A game bundle.
That's, you know, so because I mean, obviously this family member is doing this out of the kindness of their heart. They're like,
Okay.
listen, blank check.
That's true.
Unless it's not tax deductible.
Unless they have no money.
If the family,
Yeah, they're giving it to you, they're nothing gonna take.
if the family member is giving me this check now, but they are in dollars.
Whoa.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yo, then
That's a sensitive word, right? I don't think you should use that word.
Oh, damn.
You're gonna get flagged.
Flagged.
Sure.
Moving. Episode's gone.
Gone, yeah. But added to the cut list. There's so many.
This post-production.
Yeah.
How did you get your girlfriend?
Yo.
Owens.
I think at the end of the podcast, we like to do two things.
We do like it.
And none of it is abusing his hand. None of it is abusing his hand. Yeah. So we like to give like guests opportunity to do two things, and one of the things is like, please plug, promote, share any sort of projects or pages that you are working on, people that can follow you on, and we will link it in the bio.
All right. If you need a suit, GD Suits at GD Suits on Instagram, Facebook, soon to be on TikTok. Yeah, we pride ourselves in being the more affordable option for quality. A lot of people go to town and they realize they have to pay a house bond for a suit. It's not the truth. Just come to GD Suits, we'll sort you out. Northern Brew, Jean-Andre, I was actually on the phone with him. He's my beer business partner. He's the beer fundi. Thanks for the opportunity to jump on board. Northern Brew's been an interesting ride, just understanding the business, being different bars, golf courses, liquor stores, and a lot of politics behind it. So we actually need to talk about it, but that's another sort of business that's very interesting. Poker coming soon. Next year will be some big news. Trying to break the stigmas and show people there's a lot of sport characteristics behind it. It's not gambling.
Lekker.
Yeah.
And with that, the second thing that we like to ask the guests to do is provide a message to your younger self. You've been through some things.
Yeah. From what perspective do I say that? All right. Yeah, don't give up. I think you spoke about the pitfalls. There's a lot of times you sit down late at night like, is it worth it? Am I really doing this? What are people going to think? And once you drown out the noise and you just push through, you can make magic happen.
And I think from our side, thank you.
Marvelous.
I know there were parts, like you said, there's still elements that we didn't get to touch, but I think that just gives us space for you to come again.
Okay. Yeah.
So it gives us
You want a
more
second
room.
suit on your when he gets married. So context. I'm going to tell you these guys some nice podcast blazers, and hopefully they'll wear it in the near future.
We'll wear it.
We'll definitely wear it.
The C's for.
And the C's for.
When we review this episode.
When you guys get your first major sponsor, I'll tell you the whole team blazers. How's that?
Oh, wow.
It can't be thick.
Respectfully.
So I was gonna say
That's where you drew the line. You see, I got my mommy on the weed and poker, but I can't get the bonus bag. Unfortunately, that's
At least you gotta take this off next week.
Yes, just from my side. Thank you.
Nice.
Because I think, we spoke about this a little bit before the camera started rolling, but having people like you in spaces that you operate is inspirational to people that you don't even know. And I think for us to have the opportunity to highlight that is amazing. And I just want to say thank you for reaching out and allowing us to have this conversation.
No, anytime.
yes, the unfortunate thing is that we didn't get to touch on all of your story. But what's cool now is that people are going to be curious and hopefully seek out more from you. So watch this space.
But I also want to say thanks to you guys for doing this. I know it's not easy, especially maybe a long day of working. Like, I'm still shooting another episode. I got a girlfriend now, man.
He's building the relationship.
Thanks for giving us the
cycle,
platform to speak. Like you said, there's not a lot of opportunities. I mean, there's only so many.
Yeah.
But I think when we speak about stories from our community, you don't know who's watching. It takes one viewer to like say, okay, I'm going to do that now to actually make the difference. So shout out for the platform.
Agreed. So if you do like this content, please do like, share, subscribe, and rate us on the
audio platform.
Yo.
He wanted to harmonize with you.
Sorry, I wasn't prepared.
But yeah, ring the notification bell if you want to see more of us. And we out.
Peace.